Does anybody remember the time of terrible video game adaptations? I'm talking movies like the Resident Evil movies or the Doom movie with The Rock.
What the f is that?
Well, it looks like times are changing because now we've gotten shows like the absolute banger that was The Last of Us, the new Halo TV series where the Master Chief doesn't even wear his helmet and he's getting his wet. Alright, I'm kidding about the Halo TV show, but by now you've all probably heard all the buzz around Amazon's new Fallout TV series. Now, I've been a fan of Fallout since like 2008 when I was just a little baby playing Fallout 3.
All right, come on. Let's go.
I love the entire series. However, I haven't played the top-down RPGs. I know. One day, I promise. But nonetheless, I've put thousands of hours into the Bethesda and Obsidian Fallout games. So when I saw that Amazon was producing a Fallout TV show, I was extremely skeptical. 10 years ago, I honestly never thought I'd see the day when there would be a Fallout 4, let alone a Fallout TV show, and a good one at that. But goddamn, after watching all 8 episodes, I can only praise the show. And honestly, the show has reinvigorated my love for this amazing series. Seeing the world of Fallout portrayed in a completely different medium is really able to breathe even more life into the harsh wasteland we all know and love. Before we get started though, let me just say I'm not going to spoil anything from the show. I really just want to gush about all of the things the TV show does right with the world and setting and how it compares or relates to the game, because I really feel like they've done a great job utilizing the Fallout IP to its fullest potential. And they did a great job at respecting the fans as well as the source material, unlike some other video game adaptations. Can we just start with the set design, because holy shit did they get that aesthetic down to a T in the show. Whether it's the retro futuristic 50s pre-war design or capturing the brutal nature of the wasteland, I love the way the show focused on the pre-war aspect of the Fallout lore, because we only get it a little bit in the games, more so in the beginning of Fallout 4, but throughout the entire show, not just in the beginning, do they bring you back before the bombs dropped and show what the world used to be like before it became the wasteland. The entire subplot with Cooper and Vault-Tec really helped with not only the world building, but it helped push the story further, and it was so cool getting to explore more of what the world was like before the war. Regarding the wasteland, I mean, what can I say? Look how good this power armor looks. I lost my shit when they first introduced the Brotherhood of Steel in the first episode, and I think they did a great job capturing the morally gray attitude of the Brotherhood. I've always had mixed feelings on the Brotherhood in the games. They really act like they're the savior of the wasteland, but in reality, they're just a bunch of whack jobs. But I guess it kind of depends on the game. I wouldn't say they're fully evil, but they aren't as great as they think they are, and I think the show does a great job at showing all the true colors of the Brotherhood. They really make the power armor feel so beefy too. In the show, they went more towards the Fallout 4 interpretation, which I feel like was the right choice. Any moment in the show that involved action with the power armor was just so badass. Every aspect of the wasteland looks great though, like it genuinely looks like how I would imagine the Californian wasteland looking. The town the characters go to, called Philly, looked like a mix of Diamond City and Megaton, just on a smaller scale, and it really looked and felt like a city you would find in the games. But they even had smaller locations like a Red Rocket gas station and other familiar locations like obviously the Super Duper Mart. After going back and playing the games, it really only solidified how great visually they represented the wasteland in the show. I don't know if it's just me, but going back to the games after watching the show made me really want to immerse myself into the world again. And even though I've played these games hundreds of times, going in with a completely different perspective has been really fun and enjoyable for me. I think what really helped with this too was how the show not only did a great job at representing the world of Fallout visually, but also the way it handled character and character interactions. For example, one of the main characters, Lucy, who's a vault dweller, when she leaves the vault to go to the surface, she's fucking clueless because obviously she doesn't know anything about the wasteland. She's very quickly shown the straight brutality of the world with her interactions in Philly or just meeting random people out in the world. There were some great goofy encounters in the show too, and I just couldn't help but be reminded of the lottery guy from New Vegas.
I'm a winner!
Lucy has some really great character development though, and it reminded me so much of Fallout 3's story where you're a clueless vault dweller stepping out into the harsh world of the wasteland in search of your dad. Fallout 3 in particular holds a special place in my little heart because it's my first Fallout experience all the way back in 2008. I know Fallout 3 doesn't get as much praise as New Vegas, and this is coming from a New Vegas fanboy, but I think that Fallout 3 deserves a lot more respect in my opinion. I can't praise how the game runs though these days, series, but nothing can really beat that level of immersion in Fallout 3. So when's the remake coming out, Bethesda?
Do you realize what you've done?
Something I really wasn't expecting from the show was how it really capitalized on the vaults and the vault tech experiments. I figured they'd just touch on the vaults for the sake of introducing Lucy, but yeah, hell nah. They had a whole vault subplot that deals with the sus vault tech experiments. Some of my favorite parts about the games is exploring the old vaults that have either gone to shit or they still have their experiments going. The experience of entering deserted vaults and reading their logs on terminals, seeing the skeletons of the vault dwellers is just so spooky and has some really compelling storytelling. The vaults just have so much lore potential, and I was really happy to see them go to town with vault tech and show just how shady and shitty they are. They were really able to capture that same feeling from the games, and I'd say this was even my favorite aspect of the TV show story. The show has a lot of Easter eggs for the fans too. I thought it was really funny how in the show, whenever any of the characters would use a stim pack, they would use the stim pack noise from the games. It's just the little things like that that I really loved. When you add little Easter eggs like that for the fans, it really shows us that you actually cared about the source material. I feel like that's the issue with a lot of the other video game adaptations like The Witcher. When you butcher the source material, obviously the fans aren't going to be happy. There are some other references and Easter eggs I don't even want to talk about for spoiler reasons, but man, that ending made me lose my shit. One thing I do wish they utilized more was the monsters of Fallout, but at the same time, I kind of get it. They did have some of the iconic ones, but I guarantee most of the budget went to the set design and not CGI. There were some good CGI moments though. I thought the Yao Guai looked really good, but there were also moments where I thought the CGI looked pretty bad. Can we please stop de-aging people, by the way? I don't know if it's just me, but I haven't seen a single good example of de-aging. Anyway, the ghouls looked really amazing, but that was thanks to practical effects and really well done makeup. Like, can you imagine how long it would take to have someone make you look like this? I still think it would have been cool to see some super mutants, but at least they referenced them in one of the episodes. But still, I'm happy with what we got, and since the show just got renewed for a second season, maybe they'll have a higher budget to bring more of these iconic monsters to the big screen. Like, nothing beats how scary Deathclaws are in the game. I can only imagine what they could do with them in a live action setting. Not only were they able to do an amazing job bringing the world of the games to life, but even tonally it felt like a Fallout game. There were some great humorous moments where the show didn't take itself too seriously, but there were also moments where characters were reminded of the harsh reality of the apocalyptic world they were surviving in. I feel like the games have always had a humorous charm to them. But what I love so much about Fallout is, yes, you can have those humorous moments, but there will always be those moments too where you can see some really dark shit that reminds you that you're living in a nuclear wasteland. And it's moments like those that when the classic line, "War never changes," really hits you with an impact. I think this is another big reason why the show has had such insane amounts of success. They were actually able to capture the tone of the games, and I think the top-notch soundtrack also helped with that too. Alright, the last thing I really want to talk about is the casting. Every single actor, major to small, did a fantastic job with their performance. My favorite character was definitely Cooper, and I know I'm not alone with that. He's really a complex character with being a cowboy ghoul and also being an actor before the bombs dropped. It was really interesting jumping back in time and seeing how he used to be before the bombs fell and seeing him now with how ruthless he is because of the bitter nature of the wasteland. Like I said earlier, Lucy the Vault Dweller was also a great character, and her entire story and the way she develops the longer she's in the wasteland was perfect. I haven't really talked about the other main character, Maximus, who's part of the Brotherhood of Steel. He was another great character, and I really liked how morally gray he was the entire time. He makes a lot of questionable decisions, and the way he doesn't truly follow or fully respect the Brotherhood ideals helped add to the complexity of his character. Every actor here, though, did a fantastic job. I can't express that enough. There weren't any moments where I was cringing because of the acting. Without getting into any more spoilers, the entire narrative of the show is full of twists and unexpected turns, and the way each character's story connects with other character stories or how the subplots connected with the main plot was all just top-notch storytelling. I do need to say that I'm not some crazy Fallout lore nut. I don't know all of the little intricacies revolving around every single important event, so I'm not sure about any inaccuracies with the game's timeline or whatnot. I know there's been some online debate about it, and to be honest, I don't care. I feel like the show is a great interpretation of the games. Obviously, all the games are RPGs, so you act as the main character. The story progression in the games aren't very linear for that exact reason, and I love the RPG elements in the Fallout games, obviously. I love being able to explore the wasteland, doing side quests, interacting with characters, following my own morality system. But it was really refreshing seeing a more linear perspective, following a story with its own characters that are set in stone. And I think that's why the TV show worked so well. Not only is it respectful to the actual source material, but it's able to tell its own story in a refreshing and interesting way. Look, I loved The Last of Us TV show, don't get me wrong, but the show already had a story and narrative to follow that everyone who was a fan of the game loved. But the Fallout TV show was able to do its own thing and tell its own story because the games are so open-ended. So I really gotta applaud the creative storytelling in the show. If we have any new fans of Fallout because of the TV show, you absolutely must play the games. I'd recommend starting with Fallout 4 because it's a lot more modern, but don't sleep on Fallout 3 or New Vegas. Yeah, they are old and janky, but you can get some solid mods going for them, especially New Vegas, that'll make your experience better. But anyway, I'm gonna go back to playing the game, so hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys thought about the show in the comments below, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.